Self-discipline is about taking charge of your mind and directing it to act in the best interest of yourself. On that note, I, Dr. Nidhi Srivastava, Associate Professor, IIEBM, welcome you all to one more interesting session of the IIEBM's induction program of 21st Batch Ignite 2020. This session will be of an hour where first 40 minutes will be knowledge sharing and rest 20 minutes will be for question and answers. You can type your question in the chat box during the session which will be addressed towards the end. Our today's speaker will give his insights on retail industry, omni-commerce, how Decathlon is making a difference. So let me introduce Mr. Kaushal Kanodia. He completed his master's in international business from Institute of Technology and Management and started his career with Wipro Infotech as sales associate. He then joined Decathlon Sports India and worked there for more than 8 years on various positions like brand manager, expansion manager, and store manager. Here, he was given the responsibility to design the commercial policy for the brand range selection. He was also responsible for the profit and loss and budgeting negotiation with production on availability and quantity and on-time delivery and product replenishment. He created many events in the store to get more sales and showed remarkable performance during his tenure. Presently, he is holding the position of internal auditor with Decathlon International France, where he is responsible to enlight risk and opportunities in retail safety and operations. In past, he witnessed number of benchmarks and have added many feathers to his victory. Like in 2014, he opened the first store in Pune. In 2016, he achieved the best comparable store growth. In 2019, he got 4.78 out of 5 oddity satisfaction. And in 2020, he was selected to open his first store in Toronto, Canada. But due to COVID, it has been postponed. He wished to open the first store in Toronto as well. He has the abilities to connect at all levels of the organization to achieve results that can deliver the value. He has demonstrated the ability to collaborate and influence stakeholders. He has showcased multiple skill sets like negotiation, projection, recruitment, merchandising, and analytics. So, without taking much time, let me invite the humble, curious, and inquisitive personality, Mr. Kaushal Kanodia. Let us start the session like the IIEBM way. Let knowledge prevail. Over to you, Mr. Kaushal.
Thank you, Nisli. I think that was a little bit too much about me. I'm just a normal guy. First, I would like to thank you, and in fact, before that, Mr. Jay, to invite me for this session. There's still a time difference between France and India. Just for the people who are all the students, I'm not in India at the moment. I'm working in France since last 3 years. And at this moment, I'm at home. You can imagine why I'm at home and not at the office. Not because of COVID, but because I'm on vacation. So yeah. So without taking more time, let's get on to the business. I have prepared a slide, just 376 slides, not more. Don't worry, I'm just joking. It'll be just a few slides for you. I understood that it's just your introductory session, so I try to show you just a tip of the iceberg and not to go into so much of detail because you will have a lot of time to go into details. So let me show you what I have prepared for you. Nidhi, could you just tell me if you're able to see the presentation?
Yes, I'm able to see the presentation.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So as Decathlon is where I work, let's do a quick poll because I don't know how many of you actually know Decathlon. So I'm just trying to use this poll feature on your screen. And let's see. I hope you're able to see the screen, and people who are on your mobile phone or laptop, you're able to reply. I will wait for another 20 seconds. Ten seconds more. Perfect. So I'm going to stop the poll right now. But so far, the result is quite clear. At least 70% knew Decathlon and 30% still doesn't know. And that's where I think Decathlon India has to work to improve our notoriety so that people know us everywhere in entire India. Of course, I don't know so many of you coming from which part of India. It's a big country. Last I came to IIBM, I knew that a lot of people come from east of India, and now I don't know. But maybe at the end you can put on the chat the places that you come from. That could be quite nice. Let's move ahead. So in this presentation, I'm just going to talk about that how Decathlon moved from a pure retail company to an omni-commerce world. Again, I reemphasize that I'm just going to touch the tip of the iceberg, just quite a little bit of facts that what we are doing, not too much into detail. So for the 30% of the people who doesn't know Decathlon, just a quick glance about Decathlon. So we exist for just one main reason, that's sports for many. We want to make sports sustainability, make the pleasure and benefit of sports accessible to the many. If you ever visit a Decathlon store, what you will always find is first that we have a huge number of sports practice equipments, and they are quite reasonably priced compared to the other brands like Adidas, Nike, or the brand that you know. And that was the reason that why it was created. In 1976, exactly in Lille, where I am today, is where Decathlon started. I think 30 minutes from where I live, there was a place called Onglo where the first store was opened by just 7 guys, and the idea was to sell sporting equipments to the people around at as low price as possible, because at this time the sports was quite necessary in France. It was quite lovable, but it was really expensive. So Decathlon started selling the same brand which was selling outside by just buying them from the market and selling that at a very, very low margin and by being very competitive. And soon it was not possible for the other brand to sell at Decathlon because we were really selling at a low price, killing the market. They decided not to sell through Decathlon. So what happened in 1986, 10 years down the line, the founder of Decathlon, Michel Leclerc, he decided to create his own production. And that was the time that he decided that now we will not be dependent on the other brand, but we will manufacture everything by ourselves at a low price for all our customers. So that's when our passion brand or the different production that started for Decathlon. And in 1986 itself, Decathlon also started to grow. It was the first time that Decathlon opened a new store outside France. And now we talk about 2020, we are in more than 60 countries with 93,000 team members, with more than 1,600 stores. There are more than 30 countries for production. We have also most of our team members are shareholders of the employee, because at Decathlon we also have something called eShop, which is employee shareholding program, and most of the countries they have made possible to all their employee to be part owner of the company. And that's where us, when we talk about Decathlon, is not merely as an employer, but it's really that we own the company. It's a lot of ownership inside us. And to give you the fact that we do survey for the employee every year, and the result that you can see in India, it was 96% our team members were very happy to come to work at Decathlon. And in terms of growth, in 2020, at the beginning or end of 19, we opened 6 new countries. There were a couple of countries also opened just last month. So there was one was Ireland, and and there's a couple of more which is in the pipeline to open, but might be it open 2021. For example, the Toronto, which was supposed to open this year, but it will open next year. Now, we need to talk about the evolution from a retail store to omni-commerce. But however, it's also important to understand that what is omni-commerce, because I'm sure that most of you must have heard this word omni-commerce, omni-channel, e-commerce, a digital way of selling. But what is really is? So I try to find as simple as possible. So omni-commerce, it's also my way of explanation, because I also read many different things and found how to simply address this subject of omni-commerce. So for me, omni-commerce is an approach. It could also be a strategy for a company where they unify all the channel of sales. Because Decathlon, we did have store, we did have e-commerce website, we did have some partners to sell, but those are different channel. And in omni-commerce, we try to unify them. We try to merge together the seamless, the physical channel as well as the digital channels fully integrated. The idea is to touch all the touch point of customer. Wherever the customer has accessibility, we need to be present there. It's all lead for user experience, and we need to be available online as well as offline. And that's the true omni-commerce. Omni-commerce recognize that customer and his brand experience customer first. So it's like how Steve Jobs said that I will show you after that you need to always think about the customer experience and then work backward. And what is the impact for omni-commerce? So I have some studies from Harvard Business Review, which shows that in US, 7% of the shopped online exclusively. 20% of the customers were store-only shopper, and 73% used a multiple channel of sales to buy from a single company. So you can see the power of omni-commerce is really, really huge. And the power of omni-commerce is what realized in the last 3 months when, due to COVID, things has completely changed when the store was closed. And that's where the true sense of omni-commerce started. And what is the impact? Now we see. But we need to be a little careful that omni-channel is not omni-commerce. As I said, omni-channel is just fairly a different channel of sales. You can have a website which sell your product autonomously. You can have a mobile application. You can sell through Facebook. You can sell through e-commerce or store. But when you try to combine all of them together, it becomes omni-commerce. That means a customer can access. For example, I buy something from Facebook and I can collect it from the store. I buy on Facebook and I pay through Facebook. And Decathlon, let's say the company is not even involved. I buy on the website and smoothly I can also be interfaced through the application. I have account all the places. I can call and I can make an order. I can call and go to the store to pick up my order. I can reserve my order. So all the channel, when they work quite seamlessly together for one customer, that's how the e-commerce generated. And that's how there's a shift between omni-channel and omni-commerce. What also we have to remember that success in market A with strategy X does not mean success in market B. What I'm trying to say that what we try to do in India does not mean that it will work in France, and vice versa. I will show you some example that during the last 4 months, thanks to COVID, we tried multiple things, and each country has to adapt locally that what is making sense for their local customers. As I'm repeating once again, customer experience matters, and the customers of each country, each locations are slightly different. Their behaviors are slightly different. Therefore, the way that you approach towards your customer in terms of your selling point has to be quite different from the others. At the end, what we have to understand that we have to make the life of our customer easy and fun and fast. And what about Decathlon? So what we did actually, before I will jump into that, what you need to understand, the COVID. COVID has a huge impact on not only at Decathlon, but even the life of us and to many companies. In France, it started in March, and I think almost around the world, it started from mid-March that all the lockdown happened. And this really changed the way that we think. It was a difficult period for not only for Decathlon, but for many companies. I know in India also that many companies had to lay off their employees. They didn't have money to pay salaries. Look at the airline companies; they were grounded. Pilots are doing the work of the stewards. This is one picture of a temple in Tokyo. This is the then part before COVID is usually the number of people you could imagine, and this is now after the COVID. There's no one, and this is almost at many places in the world you could find that people are still scared to go out to be in public with so many people. I believe, and a lot of people like me also believe that there was a life before COVID, which was normal, and now what we are living right now and what we are going to live now is called the new normal. Things will change from COVID. Let's do again a quick poll to see how many of you also believe what I believe. So give me 1 second.
Mr. Kaushal, are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was just disconnected. I clicked on the wrong button. I hope everything's okay. I'm just gonna as I said, a new poll coming on your way. Let's do it. So let's say 30 seconds. So how many feel that there will be a new normal post-COVID? You can think about your own life. You can think about your personal organization, your family, your surroundings, and imagine. I think I don't have to wait because the result is quite clear. But now I have some answer which people doesn't believe they'll be normal. And I'll be very, very interesting to know, to understand that why do they think, maybe some angle that I'm missing as well, to understand why things will not be normal anymore, or the new normal will not be there and it'll be same as before. So 7 seconds more. 4, 3, 2, 1. So 85% of you guys, you believe that there will be a new normal. In fact, there is already a new normal. You can look at yourself. You are attending the lectures online now instead of from the college. And 14% still believe that there is no new normal. If this is what I understood well. I'll be very, very happy to read your comments about why you don't feel there'll be a new normal. Maybe in the chat part, you can write later or now, and we will read through after. I will continue on the presentation now.
Yes.
As I said, and this COVID for Decathlon and for many companies, it's gave us a lot of opportunity to think out of the box. It challenged us on the way that we were doing business before, because it was no more possible during the lockdown period, and it pushed us to find new ways of doing the business. Because during the time we were locked down, a company like Amazon, their share rose by almost 150% in the last 3 months. Can you imagine? So we know there was a huge potential on the digital part, on the omni-commerce part, and we had to find a way. Uh, so this is the store of 1976, and on your right you will see the photograph of our first website in 2006, and this was 10 years after the launch of eBay or Amazon. Of course, now the website of Decathlon looks much better compared to this one. Things have changed. But what else have happened in the last 3 months? This example is from India. So India, in the last 3 months, we also collaborated with many digital way of selling. So today you can buy Decathlon products from PhonePe, from Paytm, from Google Pay Store. These are all the new things that we are trying to, because before it was just decathlon.in website and the store. There was no other channel, but now you can find many ways. You can buy through WhatsApp, you can buy through Facebook. In USA, they collaborated with Amazon, because Amazon is the biggest online company in US. People, I think, they have 60 million of Prime users. So almost everyone in US, they have an Amazon account, and not having our as a marketplace, our Decathlon to be on Amazon, I think it was pity. And thanks to COVID, it happened, and now we also see the result that Decathlon, the sales has gone up. We had 3 stores in San Francisco before opening the website or contracting with Amazon, but now Amazon is doing well, and simultaneously we also selling through Walmart. So this is called a partnership model. So we have our own website to sell, but we also partner with another channel of sales. And you have to understand, in the omni-commerce part, when the customer buys from Amazon or marketplace, in this case we don't see the customer, because the logistics is managed by the Walmart and Amazon, and in many cases the logistics is managed by the parent company, that is Decathlon. In France, even though the market is quite mature, we also partnered with some different companies. For example, there is a company called Ultrix. They are very specialized in France for their cycling gears and running gears, very, very specific and high-end products. And now Decathlon has partnered with Ultrix, where we are also selling our high-end cycling and running products. And recently, they also opened a small store. So a company, Ultrix, which was just an online company, thanks to the partnership with Decathlon, they opened a small shop in Decathlon store in one of the city in south of France. We also tied up with in Belgium, in another retail company, where now they can buy Decathlon products, because during lockdown only the essential store were supposed to open, and we were not essential at this moment. So we had to find all the essential store, like any supermarket, for example, Big Bazaar of Belgium or France, and we partnered with them to sell our highest selling products. We also partnered with a company like Franprix, is another retailer in France. We also opened some stores like Decathlon Connect. There are two in Bangalore for the moment. The idea for this kind of store is they are very small. When I say small, it could be just size of a living room. The idea is that people can buy online and can come and collect from the store. And why this strategy is good? Because shipping always is expensive. When you buy something online, many times you have to pay for it. But when we open a store, we anyways have to supply our product to the store where the customer doesn't pay. So we are trying to take the same advantage. So the customers buy online and we send the products through our warehouse to the store with the same channel as a replenishment to the store. And in this case, customer doesn't pay the cost of this delivery. And then they just go to the store and pick up their products. This is the whole idea. And because the size of the store is smaller, we are able to open in the city centers, which was not possible with our old format, which was really a large size store. If you have seen Decathlon stores in India, compared to Delhi and Mumbai, where only shopping malls are possible, in another cities, we had big stores more than 20,000 square feet, 30,000 square feet, but little outside the city. You have to drive down to go there or take a bike. But now we are available in shopping malls to open some click and collect stores, which is much more easier. Uh, and I'm just repeating once again, all what we did so far is through the customer experience, because customer was at the heart, and we were thinking about them first, and then we had to start backward at what is best for them. That was about Omni-Commerce, and I think I spoke too much. Just let me have some water. And let's talk about something else. I would like to know, how are you guys feeling? So I'm just gonna quickly turn to the poll or maybe a chat. Maybe in the chat, you can just write, how are you feeling? You can use an emoji, you can write any emotion, just write one word. I just would like to see, how are you feeling? You can use the chat option to write your emotion, write emoji, any feeling that you have. I see one which has no emotions, okay? When someone is happy, exciting to listen more, aesthetic, happy, happy. I think some people are also bored of writing. They don't like to text. I know it's easier to say than to type, and we are living in this new world where we have to. I'm talking to no one. In fact, I'm just talking to myself on the screen. At least you can see me. I can't see you guys. Interesting, happy, exciting to listen, value, warm, hopeful, content. Excited to know more, as I was not knowing about this, knowing about Omni-Commerce or knowing about Decathlon. Anxious. Okay. So from I think now I have close to 5 to 10 minutes. In this 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to talk about something different, not about e-commerce, but something that could help you if you work on it. And for that, I will just show you that the questions that I have for you. Keep these questions with you. I don't want you to answer it. It is just for you, but you have to introspect about this question, that when you join IIBM or MBA colleges, and think about your last day in the college, and then try to answer this question for yourself, that what will make you satisfied at the end of your college term? What are those things that, if today is the last day of your college, and if you look back, what are the things that feel that you are really satisfied now? More concretely, what are the objectives you want to achieve at the end of your college? So if today is the end, so what have you achieved today? If today is the last day of your college, what do you have in your hand? What is the objective you set for yourself? And then third point could be, what do you want to develop in yourself? Because when you're coming from different backgrounds, and this 2 years is going to be very, very important, because this 2 years is not also normal year. When I say normal, I'm not talking about COVID part here, because maybe for many of you, it's the first time you are staying outside your comfort zone, now staying outside from your family. You're going to live with people that you completely doesn't know. Your weekdays will be quite different than your weekdays before. You'll be waking up early in the morning, studying many classes. Maybe there will be no Sunday or Saturdays because you'll be still studying. You may have some lectures. The life will not be the same anymore. So what was before and what you want to develop inside you. And to do this part, I will encourage you that you should take a continuous feedback on the point you want to develop. That is something has helped me quite drastically throughout my last 12 years in Decathlon. And I didn't do it in my college days. I did it in Decathlon because thanks to this company that gave me this opportunity to work on myself. And I'm just telling you, these are some quick points that you can really develop in those 2 years that you are in the college. I have seen myself, my friends during my MBAs that we were not really paying attention to ourselves. Because the only thought we had, okay, we need to study for 2 years and then placement will happen, and it's college responsibility and you will get a job. That was the only feeling that we had. But trust me, it is not going to help you. These three questions is really, really important. Again, it's not a force. You can decide to yourself, but to work on yourself is really, really important. And when I say continuous feedback for the next 2 years, you will make some new friends around you. Don't ask just one guy to give a feedback about you. Ask at least 5 to 6 guys. And why I'm saying 5 to 6 guys, because these 5 to 6 guys might give you different points, 5 points, 3 point, 4 point. You don't have to take all of them, but try to pick those which are most common among all the feedback that you receive. And that is the point that you need to work on. And you need to decide how you're going to help. Maybe you need to take some help from your professors, maybe from your friends, maybe from your parents, but work on those points. Because at the end, it's you who will get the job. It's not the college. College is only responsible to get you the companies on board. But after, it's you who has to sit for the interviews. You have to decide for your own career. So when you are an interviewer like me, because I also recruit a lot of people, for me, it's not about the CV, what you write inside. And I pay attention to a lot what people are saying from their mouth, how much conviction that they have inside them. So take care. A lot of people I have seen also in my classes that they were very good in studies, but they were not so good in talking. And they couldn't get some good placement because they just couldn't handle the interview well. Even though they had first class throughout their curriculum, throughout their studies from starting from 10th, but it couldn't happen because today, of course, education matters, your degrees matters a lot, but what matters a lot is a person, how you speak to others, how do you take care of other people, how will you handle situation. So take care. This is very, very important to take continuous feedback from your development. And this one tool that I work personally for myself, because you see, in my last 12 years, I did many different jobs. And there was a point, it was not easy for me to see what I would want to do next. And also, there were many opportunities. And then there was something that I wanted to do. And then I created a small graph which has feasibility and desirability. Desirability are those jobs that I really wanted to do, irrespective of anything. For example, my desirable is that I would like to work for, I don't know, Amazon, or I want to work for Decathlon. Simple. It's my desire. And then, is it feasible? So on the desirable part, maybe you on the extreme axis, you can write Decathlon, but is it feasible today? Maybe you can say no, yes. If you write no feasible, why it is not feasible? Because I don't play sports, because there is no opening in the company, because I don't know anyone. Or you can say it is also feasible. Why? Because I'm very sporty, I'm passionate about sports. I know Decathlon very well. I know they are recruiting, and I'm going to apply, and I know I will get the job. So it's feasible become desirable. And this way, you have to put all your job, your wishes inside, and see that which are feasible. If you want to join for a company like McKinsey to be a management consultant, okay, that's your desirable. Are you feasible? And feasibility is your personality, is your skills, is your degree. Sometimes you may not know, is it feasible? Am I feasible or not? Then look on internet, find out those companies, what kind of profile they hire, talk to your seniors, and they will help you out. And this will really help you to decide what you want to achieve. And the end part, how can you make your desirable feasible? If I'm just repeating once again, you have desirability and you have feasibility. The objective should be how can you make your most desired project to be the most feasible. And this is where the 2 years of your time that is in this college is going to help you. Of course, it could be also someone of you could be desire to open your own business, could be an entrepreneur. So is it feasible? Do I have money? Do I have the skill? Do I need some sponsor? Think about those questions and put it down and then make it possible. Make your desirable feasible. And if it doesn't work out, then make your feasible desirable. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I think, Nidhi ma'am, if I'm not wrong, I think I took my 40 minutes.
Yes, we can proceed, but no problem.
No, no, I'm really done. This was my last slide.
Mhm.
I'm sorry if I think I was a little bit too fast sometime, but that's one of the feedback I keep receiving, and it's difficult to control all the time.
No problem. Do you want to play the video that you mentioned in the
That
beginning?
at the end. That at the end. Let's look at the questions now. If anybody has any questions.
Yeah. You can just stop the screen share.
Yes.
All right. So the first question is, how did you decided to join Decathlon?
I'll be very honest. When I joined when I joined the college to do MBA, I joined because my friends were doing MBA. I didn't know what else to do. I finished my graduation and I didn't know what else to do. And I thought MBA is the only good option to get a good job, because one thing was clear that I didn't have a business at my back. My dad was not a businessman to do a business, so I had to do a job. So that's why I decided to do an MBA. And during the MBA, in my college, we had a two months program in France.
Hmm.
So I got exposed to Decathlon during this time, and I fell in love with the company. And when Decathlon came to India, it was a time also for my placement.
Hmm.
And if you remember, 2008 was a year of crisis. It was a subprime crisis, which came from US to all over the world, where it was difficult to find a job. And
Hmm.
even though I got placed from the college, the joining date extended by almost a year. And during
Okay.
this time, I tried to find different job. Fortunately, I was lucky enough that Decathlon also started at the same time.
Hmm.
I applied, I approached Decathlon, I just got lucky and I got the job.
Okay. So, what is your suggestion? How these management trainees should prepare for appearing to Decathlon? Because I'm seeing some questions on, what is the scope of finance graduate or maybe marketing or HR graduate, and how they should prepare themselves to get into Decathlon.
One thing you have to understand, Decathlon is still is a retail company. So most of our jobs are starting from retail. Even for me, when I joined Decathlon, I started to work in the store.
Hmm.
And that's where we started. In fact, the current CEO of Decathlon Worldwide, his name is Michel Abalia, he started as a cashier in the store.
Hmm.
And then he moved. In Decathlon, you have a possibility to change your job, to move from different department, which is your like. For example, I did very different and very diversified job from stock management to real estate. Real estate, I never studied anything, but I was expansion manager, because Decathlon will give you those possibilities to work in different department where you like it. But you always start from retail. Why? Because you need to understand the DNA of the company, why you are working at this store for the customer. So unless and until you understand this part, you cannot do the job at the back, because you're
Right.
still serving the same customers.
Right.
So
So,
you will
job.
definitely have the possibilities in the store, finance as well, but the number of openings are lesser, because
Hmm.
of course we have, let's say in India, we have 70 stores, an
Hmm.
average of 30 employees. We have at least more than 2,000 people working in the store. But if we
Hmm.
talk about just finance team, they have only 30 to 40 people.
Hmm.
So the rotation also is quite less. The number of opening also will be lesser.
Hmm.
However, we also, the idea for Decathlon is to give promotion to the people who are working in the store. It's like a growth aspect. So you join as a sales assistant or a department manager and you continue to grow.
Okay.
Sometime directly at the retail, so you become department manager, store manager, then regional manager, or you move your department like me. You move to supply chain, you move to finance, you move
Hmm.
to e-commerce, or you go
Hmm.
international.
Hmm. Right. So there are no fixed roles as such, or no?
No, no.
No.
In Decathlon, something I mentioned before, we don't want people to be in the comfort position. So the
Hmm.
moment you're becoming comfortable with your job is the time that you have to leave. So
Hmm.
3 years is an ideal career path in Decathlon for any job. So
So
first year you learn.
Yeah.
Second year, you put your strategies, and third year, you enjoy the fruit, and then you move to another job.
Right. So, is there any age limit for people to be posted in stores? Because when you visit Decathlon, you see a lot of youngsters,
Yeah.
around. And so, is there any age limit
See, there is
that?
no age limit. However, the job at the store is very physically demanding. You have to stand for long hours. You have to take boxes, heavy boxes, move around, which is not very easy.
Yes.
But we are very open to all kind of profile who are passionate. First thing is passion for sports, and they can in India at least we join through sports. So the recruitment process start from a sports round because we know to be sure that the people will be able to handle the store.
Hmm. So, can you take us through the entire hiring process that Decathlon follows?
In India, because
In
worldwide is quite
India.
different everywhere. In
Yes.
India,
Yes.
there is also a portal, Decathlon recruitment.decathlon.in, where you can
Hmm.
apply. You can
Hmm.
also directly go to the store and show your interest, and if they're opening, you can give your CV. How what
Hmm.
happens after? Though you will have first interview. We also recruit from colleges,
Hmm.
so you will have an interview. Post
Hmm.
interview, you will be asked for a Decathlon recruitment day, and that is where we will call all the interviewee to
Hmm.
come on that particular day. You will
Hmm.
have a sports round for the first 1 or 2 hours, which is
Hmm.
also a round to select people. Or yeah, and after this round, those who are shortlisted will move to another interview process, which will be combined by several other people, and then finally you'll get the job.
Okay. Okay. Fine. The next question is that changing jobs for growth is a very common funda that people follow, but you have sticked to Decathlon since so many years. So what's the reason for that?
I stayed, but there was a time that I actually, in fact, resigned from Decathlon. It was in 2009 December, so you can imagine it was just after 1.5 years, or
Hmm.
yeah, it was 2009 or 2010 beginning. It was a tough period for me at Decathlon, and I resigned. And then my CEO he asked me to meet him before I leave,
Hmm.
and he explained me something because my difficulty was in fact my mistakes, what I did in my job,
Hmm.
and he told me that he doesn't want that I leave, and he made me realize that at Decathlon we have a right to make mistakes. So what I did is a mistake, and you learn from it, and then you grow. And then
Okay.
it was it. And from there, I never looked back. I again had a lot of mistakes, a lot of difficulty, but I know how to bounce back.
Right. Okay, so what is the strategy that Decathlon is following to deal with their competitors like Nike, Adidas, Puma?
In India, I think the positioning of Decathlon is very, very different from Nike and Adidas. First, Nike, Adidas are not directly available in India. They are through franchisee model, and they
Right.
operate only small stores and concentrated towards specific sports, that is fitness and running. However,
Hmm.
in Decathlon, we are with more than 50 different sports.
Hmm.
That is, you can find at one place.
Hmm.
The store formats is very large, and majority of the Indians we are middle class. Not
Hmm.
everybody can afford Nike or Adidas. And
Right.
on the other side, at Decathlon, the price point is very, very reasonable, which comes with guarantee of the product. And at the end is the customer. You don't like the product, Decathlon, come back, return, get your money back. It's like that. Nobody else in India does this kind of service to the customer.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Our strategy is quite simple, and India is a huge market, and there's a huge potential for our middle class or lower middle class people who wants to play sports, and we want to give them the accessibility of the sports. That is also why that in most of the stores in India we have a playground, and that is usually free for everybody to come and play. We
Yes.
now also started something called a platform. In India, it's called All for Sports. It's an application on your mobile phone. And if
Hmm.
you're, let's say, in Pune, you can find the different places around where you can practice sports, and it's
Okay.
through Decathlon will get partnership with this many. Let's say if you are a tennis player, so we will tie up with some tennis coaches, tennis ground to be on this platform. See, if I'm in Pune, I want to play tennis. I go on the application. I find where is a tennis court. I can book directly from the website. I can also find some other people who wants to play with me. So
Hmm.
we have created a playground, but this playground is not enough yet. We want
Hmm.
to go further more, and with through all for sports we want to create more coaches who can really train. There are people who are not trained to be coach, but they are really super passionate to help people to play, and we're also trying to collaborate with those people to how can you train other people without having a degree.
Okay. 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 The next question is, how did you make the decision of moving from India to France?
It was my decision. In fact, when I joined Decathlon after 2 years, I knew it was possible in Decathlon to move into different jobs, and
Okay.
it was in my plan that I want to have an international experience. It was
Mm-hmm.
in my plan since many years, and my leaders used to tell me that there are certain experiences that you should gain before you go, because if you are going, that somebody is not available there, or maybe they don't have the best people there, then only they will recruit you. Because at the end, the cost for me will be much more when I go abroad. So
Mm.
I took my time to get some good experiences, at least to be a store manager, and then
Mm.
it was possible for me to go.
Okay. So you are enjoying that decision,
Absolutely, absolutely.
right? Okay.
If you ask me that can 100% of the team members can go abroad to work, I will say that will be difficult. But people who really want to go, they will find their way to go.
Right. So, is there any specific sport that students should play to get into
No,
decathlon, or any kind of sport would do?
any kind of sports. As long as they are into sports, they love sports, they have a passion for sports,
Hmm.
it should work.
Hmm.
See, what
Okay.
we believe in Decathlon that we look at your behavior.
Hmm.
If you have the good behavior, the skills, we will train you.
Hmm.
So we're not worried about your skills because that you will also learn on the job. But what we really take care is your behavior. There are four values of Decathlon. They are called vitality. Vitality is like a winning attitude, responsibility, generosity, and authenticity. When we recruit people, we try to see during different element of sports and interview those quality inside that person. And if
Hmm.
you feel that those values are matching with our company, it works well. If it doesn't work.
Hmm.
And I saw one question about some people about my years in Decathlon. How did I stay? I also would like to tell you that I know many people who left Decathlon. They joined, they left in 6 months, they left in 1 year, they left in 2 years. But of course, a lot of people stayed. In my team in France, where I work right now, we are 16 people, and it was last week in the office. Two of the guys they celebrated 25 years in the company.
Oh, that's
So
lovely.
exactly in front of me, I had four guys, and
Right.
the experience of those four guys was equal to 100 years.
Hmm.
So two guys with 25, 30 years and 20 years.
Hmm.
It was just unbelievable. So the people around here, they're also people who joined the captain for a long time.
Hmm.
It's also because now you are recognized in the company and you don't want to miss it. For me, a lot of people knows me and I don't want to miss that when I leave. Because if I leave at this moment now and I join a new company, I'm just one of the new guy who
Hmm.
nobody knows. But that's important for me because for me, recognition is a lot more important than money. But I know there are people who likes to earn a lot more money and they leave Decathlon.
Right. 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 Absolutely. The next question is, what is the impact of COVID on retail industry or sports related?
I don't have a data for assets. In fact, for sports, I don't have a data in terms of statistics of numbers. But what I know for Decathlon that during the lockdown period, in many countries, even the warehouses was closed by the government. But in many countries, the warehouses were still operational. So we were able to supply through e-commerce.
Hmm.
And this time we saw a huge trend to go up of sales for fitness product because
Hmm.
especially in Europe, people are really fitness enthusiast. Practice is there in the culture.
Hmm.
It's not like they have to force themselves. It's in their
Right.
part of their life. It's like how they eat. They also do sports. So we
Oh.
saw a huge spike on fitness equipment. And the moment the stores start to open, we saw a huge number of increase in the cycle sales
Hmm.
because in many countries still the lockdown was there. People not was not able to travel by car to many places.
Hmm.
Also because in the car you take a lot of spaces, you can be close to the people, so people are using a lot of cycle. Also for the summer,
Hmm.
India also had the same impact. In India also now a lot of people do practice sports, and we saw a huge change in buying behavior of fitness equipment like dumbbells, some pull-ups rod in the store, some treadmills for home, and also the bikes
Hmm.
and all the other products like hiking bag, sleeping bag. Those things went down because people were at home, so they cannot travel. So all the products that was required for them to go out was not selling, and all the activity they could perform from the home that was increasing. In terms of industry, I think retail industry was really impacted, except for the supermarket because they were still open. Those companies which had only a brick and mortar store that is only a store, they had suffered a lot more than the companies who also had e-commerce. Because the company who had a website to sell, it was still possible for them to sell. But for the company who doesn't, they lost the most.
So, how did Decathlon went through this COVID period, and how they are dealing with this situation?
It was quite difficult at the beginning, but now in Europe, almost let's say is there is no lockdown anymore, so the
Mhm.
life is not as usual. But the shopping behavior has become quite same. I can We can go out like we are just with the mask. It's quite better. Not in India for the moment because still in many places there's a lockdown. Stores are not open. In
Mm.
Pune, I know they will open from tomorrow for limited hours, so things will be improving from now onwards. And during this part is where Decathlon was challenged because before we were only concentrating towards store, and e-commerce separately. And during this time, realized that how important was e-commerce, how important was different way of selling. And that's why you will see there was initiative taken by many different countries to tie up with some external companies to sell through another stores, to find curbside pickup. For example, store is closed, but the customer can call for a product. He come to the parking, and then team member will go and give the product in the parking. So we tried many different way of selling.
And it
Just like
worked.
McDonald's, we had drive. So yes, it really worked. It really worked. It was
Right.
tough because Decathlon, again, I'm saying that we were store centric, not e-commerce centric. So we had challenges because from that we used to receive, let's say, 1,000 orders a day, and during COVID, the 1,000 became 10,000, and it
Mm.
was difficult to manage at the people at the warehouse because we have team allocated for the stores, we have team allocated for e-commerce, and then when you have a huge number of tasks coming for e-commerce, the resources were still same, so it was difficult to manage. So we
Right.
had to adapt the resources as well.
So, how is working in India is different from working in France?
Uh, Life is a lot more comfortable in France, I would say that. What I also learned here that, as I say, I'm on vacation for this 2 week. During the summer, July, August is a period of vacation in Europe. People take long vacations. Why? Because this is the period where the schools are closed.
Mm.
So the student, all the childs, they have free time. So this is the time where everybody go to travel to see different things to meet their families. They work 5 days or 6 days maximum, and they take care of themselves. They take care of the family, and it's like that. In India, we are always working. It's like that. It's just different. It doesn't mean that they are not working because they're working less. Are they not efficient? I think they're a lot more efficient. It's different way of working. The value of people is a lot more in this kind of countries than in India.
Okay, one last question.
Okay.
Any regrets or
Uh,
any failure that you have dealt and how you have overcome that?
Failure, many. I think failure is the only way to learn and only way to grow. So I've failed quite multiple times, and thankfully, luckily, I had some good mentors with me who always helped me, supported me. And during my failures, they were the people who were helping me to find right direction to go.
Mm.
So am I self-motivated? Partly yes, but sometimes I need a push. And thankfully, I had people around me who were pushing me to do better, and I can still do better. When you talk about regrets, uh, I, I don't remember. So if I don't remember, that means I really doesn't have any strong regrets.
Right. Right. All right. Any last message to the students, or shall we play the video? Then you will comment.
No, we can do it now, and then we play the video at the end.
Yeah.
My message: take these 2 years, have fun, sure, but do a lot of introspection about yourself. Just don't get to the lecture, finish the lecture and exam. Think about you yourself, how is going to impact you. Work on yourself. This is the primary thing I will say. If you don't work on yourself, you are going to cry at the end of 2 years. And this is very, very important. Your personality, this is really, really important. If you really want to get ahead, I have seen many people during the interviews. They are good in academics, but they are just not able to talk. They are sitting in front of me, but they doesn't know what to say. Why
Mm.
ask them what is your strength? They tell me I'm hardworking. How do you prove it? Whatever you write, when you build your CV, I know in many colleges they have their own format of CV. I completely normally don't like the format. I like to build my own CV. But whatever you write, ensure that it is really true. If you want a good job, if you just want any job, okay, do what you want. But if you really want, then write yourself what is really true. And that's why take this 2 year to build your CV about yourself, about your character, about your personality.
Right. Very well said. Thank you so much. We'll just play the video quickly and
And
then we
thank you so much once again for inviting me. I have also thank Mr. Jay as well. He's keep in touch with me, always asks me to come, and I'm very, very happy that he keep asking me for that.
it's always an honor to have you and your session in
Thank you
campuses.
so much. You were going to play that video? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So, guys, it's just for you. This is just a decathlon video, not about e-commerce, but just decathlon.
Big things stem from small beginnings, from hope, from intuition, from desire, from a dream. But it goes without saying that big things can only grow with the utmost care and high expectations. Challenges must be overcome. Many obstacles must be tackled. You'll need to keep the faith and be patient and show love. Greatness will never find a breeding ground unless we love others and love detail. Greatness may sometimes seem unpredictable, but it will always smile on those who dare and who persevere. Greatness can only reveal itself if we take care of it, even in rough waters. The key is to never forget that storms never last forever. And the sense of accomplishment for those who manage to overcome these challenges will never be bettered. That's why love is always the essential resource, whatever our intentions, actions, or decisions are. At Decathlon, we believe that sport makes an incredible contribution to human fulfillment. Our overriding concern is to do everything we can to share its benefits with as many people as possible, all over the world. We enable all sports people to access attractive, high-tech, eco-design products that are all the richer for the love invested in them by our local teams. We're only able to design our products because of this very love of sport and love for those who practice it every day. And that's why we'll keep on doing it.
Bright like the moon in the sky, we're dancing in the night, playing with the trees and waiting for the sun to rise. Rise above your fears and live your dreams. Come on, let's go run.
can stop it.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Kaushal, for taking your time out. Students got really lovely insights on how they should prepare for a company like Decathlon and how they are functioning as of now. We also would like to wish you all the best for your new Toronto assignment. We just hope that this COVID situation gets over early and you get the opportunity to set up the new store there as well, like you have done till now. So, thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you once again, and don't hesitate to send me the feedback if they have any feedback.
Sure.
Students, you or others, they have any feedback, I'll be happy to take those feedback, because I said I love feedbacks and like to work on them. So thank you very much, and thank you all, guys. Take care and all the very best.
Thank you.